Hi, we are at Itaipu International Airport, Hernandarias City in Alto Parana Department, Paraguay. Today we will make a short flight that will take us to neighboring Argentina, to the city of Puerto Canoas, in the province of Misiones. To do so, we will also fly over Brazil, since here the three nations meet. To reach our destination, we will follow the course of the Parana River. We will discover in this way its wonders.
You're getting on that plane effectively where you belong. I don't know. You've got to listen. Any idea what you got to look forward to if you stayed here? 9 chances out of 10 we both wind up in a concentration camp with my children.
The train may just start to insist.
I'm saying this only to make me go.
I'm saying it because it's true. In silence, we both belong to victory. That train may stop. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon.
What about us? What about us?
The Itaipu hydroelectric power plant is located on the Parana River between Brazil and Paraguay. The Parana River is the seventh largest river in the world and the second largest in South America. Itaipu Dam is the world's largest hydroelectric power facility, and it is a joint effort of the governments of Brazil and Paraguay. The project ranges from Foz do Iguaçu, in Brazil, and Ciudad del Este in Paraguay, in the south to Guaira and Salto del Guaira in the north. The name Itaipu was taken from an isle that existed near the construction site. In the Guarani language, Itaipu means the sound of a stone. The Itaipu Reservoir is 170 kilometers long with an area of 1.35 square kilometers, and has a volume at maximum normal level of 29 billion tons of water. It consists of a series of various types of dams. The height of the dam reaches 196 meters, its length 7.76 kilometers. The powerhouse is located at the toe of the main dam, most of it on the river bed and the rest on the diversion channel. The main structure, a hollow, concrete gravity dam, has a powerhouse capable of generating 14,000 megawatts of electricity. The main powerhouse has 18 Francis turbines each, with a rated power of 715 megawatts. The spillway is located on the right bank, and it has 14 segmented sluice gates with a total discharge rate of 62,200 cubic meters per second. The volumes of construction in Itaipu are also impressive. The volume of iron and steel utilized in the dam structure would be enough to build 380 Eiffel Towers, and the volume of concrete used in Itaipu represents 15 times the volume utilized to build the Channel Tunnel between France and England. The power plant is a major tourist attraction in the Foz do Iguaçu area. More than 9 million visitors from 162 countries have visited the structure since it was completed in 1991. On June 22, 1966, the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Brazil, Juraci Magalhães, and of Paraguay, Sapina Pastor, signed the Act of Iguaçu. A study was carried out under this act that assessed the potential hydraulic resources of the Parana River, which is jointly occupied by the two countries. In 1967, the Brazilian-Paraguayan Joint Technical Commission was established to carry out the study and the development of the Parana River. On April 26, 1973, the two governments of the states signed a treaty for the development of the hydroelectric resources of the Parana River, and founded Itaipu binational cooperation with the legal, administrative and financial capacities and technical responsibility to plan, set up and operate the plant, in May 17, 1974. The construction work started in 1975, reaching its peak in 1978, with 30,000 people at work. Monthly on-site concrete production reached 338,000 cubic meters. In total, 15 times the mass of concrete used for the Eurotunnel was supplied. It took almost 3 years for workers to carve a 1.3-mile-long, 300-foot-deep, 490-foot-wide diversion channel for the river. 50 million tons of earth and rock were removed in the process. Engineers chose a hollow gravity dam because it required 35% less concrete than a solid gravity dam. The hollow dam is still heavy and sturdy enough to resist the thrust of water entirely by its own weight. Sometimes the dam can get blocked with mud and silt. It is expensive to clean the dam out. The mud and silt can cause diseases in the water in the reservoir. Unless the water in the reservoir is cleaned, people can get these diseases. The land behind the dam and reservoir had to be flooded. Much of this land was rainforest and the trees had to be cut down. Many parrots died because their homes in the trees were destroyed. In 1982 the land behind the dam was flooded, and within 14 days the reservoir was created. Unit 1 started to operate in December 1983. Electrical grid connection to Paraguay was established in March 1984, Brazil was connected 5 months later. In March 1991 the last unit, number 18, was put into operation. The magnitude of the project also can be demonstrated by the fact that in 1995 Itaipu alone provided 25% of the energy supply in Brazil and 78% in Paraguay. We resume the course of the Parana River downstream of the dam, heading south. Just after the small bend to the left of the river, we meet Ciudad del Este, Paraguay, and Foz do Iguazu, Brazil, joined by the Puente Internacional de la Amistad. We have reached the downtown of Ciudad del Este. From here we will cross the Bridge of International Friendship preceded by the Paraguayan Customs Agency. On the other side we will find the corresponding Brazilian agency. On this side of the bridge we are in Brazil, specifically in the city of Foz do Iguaçu. The mouth of the Iguaçu River, in fact, meets the Parana River a few kilometers south of the bridge.
Aviation Tree 3906, you are 16 miles west. Descend and maintain 9,300 feet. Expect VOR DME Zulu runway 13 approach via India Golf Uniform 216 radial 13 DME ARC. Clear to India Golf Uniform. Descend and maintain 9,300 feet. Expect VOR DME Zulu runway 13 approach via India Golf Uniform 216 radial 13 DME ARC. Clear to India Golf Uniform JS Aviation Tree 3906. Aviation Tree 3906 descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. JS Aviation Tree 3906.
At the confluence, we turn left to go up the Iguaçu River. Now the river marks the border between Brazil and Argentina. On our left, Brazil, Foz do Iguaçu, on the right, Argentina, Puerto Iguaçu.
JS Aviation Tree 3906 climb and maintain 9,300 feet. 300 feet, JS Aviation 33906.
Also in this case the two cities are joined by a bridge, the Tancredo Neves Bridge. What we will see soon requires at least a little bit of emotional preparation. So from here on, we will proceed in silence, leaving only the music to accompany the emotions. one of the largest waterfalls in the world. Iguazu Falls is located in Iguazu National Park in the extreme west of the state of Paraná, on the border with Paraguay and Argentina. As a matter of fact, Argentina has the major part of the falls, and both countries have its own national park that has a good diversity of wildlife. Iguazu Falls, also written Iguazu Falls or Cataratas do Iguazu in Portuguese and Cataratas del Iguazu in Spanish, is one of the biggest waterfalls in the world. It is wider than Victoria and higher than Niagara, and more beautiful than either. The water cascades down the river to the hundreds of lower falls. The majority of the downstream falls are on the Argentina side, so the best viewing is from the trails on the Brazil side. The falls are made up of 275 separate waterfalls which occupy an area 3 miles wide and 80 meters high, providing a sensational sight. Each second the falls produces 450,000 gallons of water. Made up of many cascades producing vast sprays of water, it is one of the most spectacular waterfalls in the world. The lush vegetation of the surrounding park is also home to many rare and endangered species of flora and fauna, including the giant otter and giant anteater. The subtropical rainforest has over 2,000 species of vascular plants and is home to the typical wildlife of the region: tapirs, giant anteaters, howler monkeys, ocelots, jaguars, and caimans. The most impressive section is called Garganta do Diabo, or Devil's Throat. This is a U-shaped section, 150 m wide, and 700 m, that forms the border between Argentina and Iguazu Falls. The best times to see Iguazu Falls are in the spring and fall. Summer is intensely tropically hot and humid, and in winter the water level is considerably lower. Each year, millions of visitors gaze at the falls to see one of the most amazing natural shows with an unforgettable spectacle. Cataratas do Iguazu was first seen by European people in 1542, when the expedition of Dom Alva Núñez Cabeça de Vaca found it. The name Iguazu comes from the native Guarani and Tupi language, meaning big water, water, Guazu, big. Cataratas do Iguazu Park, one of the most beautiful ecological reserves in the world, with 225,000 hectares, was founded in 1939 and designated by UNESCO such a World and Natural Heritage of Humanity site in 1986. By consensus, the Brazilian side of the border offers the best panoramas of the falls, even if the Argentine side provides better close-ups. Fauna, flora, and services are similar on both sides, but the Brazilian side has fewer easily accessible areas for roaming.